Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, and the cancellation of E3 2020 is still being felt. What was normally a time where we all stamped it on our calendars in the center of the year and really look forward to some great game announcements and reveals is no longer there. We saw companies in turn such as Microsoft, Ubisoft, Square Enix, Nintendo all respond to this situation, announcing that they'll be looking into digital avenues to deliver the information that normally they would have done around E3. We knew Bethesda had a press conference planned for E3 2020. However, they didn't talk much after the cancellation of E3, and so some folks wondered what they were doing. And Bethesda, being Bethesda, chose today, April 1st, for those who aren't aware, April Fool's Day, to announce what they want to do. So some folks don't believe what they're doing, but we have proof against that. Pete Hines took to Twitter and said, "Given the many challenges we're facing due to the pandemic, we will not host a digital showcase in June. We have lots of exciting things to share about our games and look forward to telling you more in the coming months." Now, before we get into all of that, Matt Frary, who is the director of PR at Bethesda Softworks, said there seems to be some confusion, but we're not doing April Fools this year, to make sure people are well aware this is not a joke. Bethesda is not looking into a digital showcase. So for those who are wondering what this could possibly mean, this isn't going to be a state of play or a Nintendo Direct style of event for Bethesda. They're going to be handling things different, and I found this to be very strange yet telling. However, what's interesting about this choice by Bethesda is that what is now viewed as strange very well may end up being the reality for a lot of companies, because even if you have to put together a digital showcase, that still requires a lot of people. And when we're trying to avoid gatherings and we're all trying to social distance due to the circumstances with the outside world, I don't even know if a digital showcase is possible. It may be a lot easier for these companies to spread out their game trailer reveals and put them in day by day at certain points where they feel is right. Furthermore, we're gonna see game delays when it comes to this virus. We already saw one happen with Wasteland 3, which got pushed back a set of months. It was originally slated to come out in May, and we've now seen the development for that get hurt. We're seeing a lot of companies like CD Projekt Red and Rockstar do a lot of posturing, stating that things are going okay for them right now and that development is going along smoothly. And that very well may be the case, but I think it's one of those situations where they sort of see the writing on the wall and may have to push back the game yet again. So with that possibility in mind, Bethesda may be avoiding the digital showcase because they don't want to accidentally reveal something and then it's not ready. Now, what did Bethesda plan on showing? Well, according to IGN in their write-up, they said Bethesda had previously said it was planning to show off more from Arcane's Deathloop and Tango Gameworks' Ghostwire Tokyo at the show. Now, they didn't link where they had heard this, so I did a little more digging, and I recalled that originally folks were speculating that Ghostwire Tokyo may be canceled because the game went on radio silence. Ikumi Nakamura had left after things went really well for her at E3 2019. But for those who don't recall, there was an interview on Kind of Funny that I had personally covered, more so focusing on Bethesda's and Pete Hines' response to Fallout First. But during this very same interview, as we can see here from Game Rant, speaking to Kind of Funny on We Have Cool Friends, Pete Hines, Bethesda's Senior Vice President of Marketing and Communications, said that the company would be showing more of Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo at E3 2020. So it seems like the game is still on track and that these predictions, these statements still hold true to this point in time. Point being though is, will these companies find it worthwhile showing these games off in the summer if they may not end up releasing in the fall where they had originally hoped to? I also feel like, given the elimination of this digital showcase or a showcase in general, that Bethesda probably won't provide an update for Starfield or Elder Scrolls 6 because those are games that are still a ways away. I think Starfield is a little closer than some may assume, but obviously this situation has really jeopardized the development process for everyone. Everyone's impacted by this in one way or another, whether it's me and many other creators with ad revenue or people's work cycles, entertainment's getting pushed back, everything's getting pushed back. So I can sort of understand Bethesda doing this decision and really taking the time to say, do we want to announce a digital showcase right away, or do we want to see how this situation develops? I do think they could have picked a much better day to announce it. Just wait one more day and you'd be fine. I don't know why they chose today, but I digress. I think that they made the right choice because ultimately, I think we're going to see a lot of companies follow suit. I think we're going to see a lot more folks come out and say, hey, we're not doing a digital showcase, we're just going to go trailer by trailer. Because some things may be closer to ready, some things may actually be able to get out the door. Maybe they're close enough to being finished, or they're properly tested, or perhaps they have a good digital pipeline of work where it is feasible for most folks to work from home. The other aspect I did want to speculate on a little bit here is, does Bethesda have enough to show off for a digital showcase? A lot of people stated that when E3 2020 got canceled, that a lot of companies' heads would come up for air and realize maybe E3 isn't the best avenue to announce all their games when they could save money, stay at home, and announce them digitally, where they'd get just as much, if not more, attention. And so I've speculated that perhaps when we look at E3 2019, which was a incredibly vacant showcase in the terms of important announcements for Bethesda, with the likes of Commander Keen taking center stage, perhaps Bethesda looked at the slew of announcements they have ready and said, okay, we can provide an update for Ghostwire Tokyo, we can provide an update for Deathloop, but we have just X and Y mobile games. We're not going to show off Starfield. Yeah, why do a digital showcase? Why make a bigger deal out of something that's not a big deal? I think it provides a different perspective when they're forced to take a look at things digitally and structure a show in a different manner. What I mean by this is, when you look at the entirety of E3, how much money it will cost the company to fly employees out there, to set up the presentation, to put together all the assets. There's so much money that gets poured into it that everything that's on stage has to be a big deal. But let's say this coming E3, Bethesda had, of course, Ghostwire Tokyo, they had Deathloop, they had a couple of other AAA games, but they had some mobile titles they were going to sprinkle in and make a big deal out of. Now these can be smaller, more subtle announcements because they're avoiding the digital showcase and going for a case-by-case basis. Also, for those who have not been on the show floor for E3, a lot of things change when that's not available for companies. E3's started to transform into more of a public event, which is why a lot of the media and content creators have indicated a bit of its downfall. It's no longer that exclusive media event where we all go and get our hands-on impressions and deliver information to gamers. Now it's a lot like PAX, where you can hop in there and put your hands right on the game yourself, and you don't have to be a, quote, person of status, end quote, to actually get your way into E3. And with that, a lot of companies started to feed off that. Microsoft and EA in particular hosting their own events outside of the E3 venue, and also companies that were at the E3 venue itself planning events for fans, and a lot of that was to gauge feedback and gain excitement for their games. With that being pulled out from under them, we don't know what Bethesda may have been up to in that regard, but we also have to take a look at their slate of titles, such as Fallout 76. Wastelanders received a 1-week delay due to what's happening in the world at this point in time, and so if that's getting delayed, and that's been in development for a while, it's been tested for a while on the PTS, it was a little surprising to see it pushed back. I think a lot more than people realize is getting bumped back, where maybe even the initial roadmap that they had planned out for Fallout 76 and Wastelanders is now going to be completely different because they don't know if they can get certain things out in time. A lot of things that were made were created with the mindset of, hey, tomorrow I'm going to this studio, I'm going to this office, and I'm going to work here, and production will not be pushed aside by something that's going to literally stop the whole world. It's crazy what's happening. This is a history book moment, but it's interesting to see how companies are responding, trying to maintain a sense of normalcy, yet also be very vague on details. Like Pete Hines saying, we look forward to telling you more in the coming months. It's like, why are we waiting months to figure out what's going on here unless they're playing a wait and see approach, which Bethesda clearly is doing. They were the last to comment on everyone 2 weeks after the fact. And as always, it could be money, but I'm sure Bethesda has plenty of that. That'll wrap up this discussion on Bethesda's E3 plans. I think what they're doing is a bit smart to play the wait and see approach, but I am curious what you guys think about what they're going to reveal and when and how, or if anything at all. How do you think they are handling this? Let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. It's a really strange time out there, so be sure to be good to one another. Get active in the comments down below, not for my own benefit, but just to interact with other people, because I know a lot of us are currently trapped inside. So be sure to take advantage of some of that time. Play some good games, bring some positivity into your life, interact with other people. And if you're still out there working, then be sure to stay safe, wash your hands, take good care of yourself, and once again, just put a smile on your face. The world needs a lot of positivity right now, and I hope that some of my videos can bring you guys a little dosage of that, or maybe a distraction. I don't know. Big thank you to all my patrons who continue to support me through this tough time. As I mentioned earlier, ad revenue got a bit of a smack-de-doo on YouTube here, and so it's a little different financially, and so I appreciate you guys sticking with us at this point in time. I'll talk with all of you soon. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.